That. Welcome everyone again. Thank you. Just gonna give a moment to everyone who is joining in. And as we're doing that, I want to say that we are grateful again that you've chosen to spend time with us. Grab a paper and pen if you can, as we're waiting for people to join. This will be used in the exercise that we have planned for a little later in this session. As I said, we have a great session with helpful information and little taste of what leadership experience we provide here at the Women's Impact Alliance. I invite you to use the chat, so we'd love it if everyone could put in the chat your name and where you're calling in from. We know there's such a diverse and global community at our events here at the WIA, and so it'd be lovely to know where people are calling in from today. Also, put in the chat what brought you here today. It could be that someone you know, an alumna who went through the program, or maybe it was recommended to you by a friend, a colleague, or a manager. Or perhaps you saw the opportunity on social platform and you're just ready to invest in your leadership. As we're saying hi to each other in the chat and putting that information in, I want to introduce myself. I'm Emily Wasuna, and I'm the program manager here at the Women's Impact Alliance. And what brought me here today is all of you. And it's really just to be able to get a chance to talk about this amazing program. If you have the bandwidth and you're able to, we would love for you to have your video on. We want to create a brave and welcoming space for everyone who's here today. So come on video if you have the ability to turn your video on. As we get started, I want to welcome everyone again. And by welcoming you, that means I'm welcoming all voices, all perspectives, and all experiences. At the WIA, we are a rich and diverse community from different locations all over the world, and we welcome and respect all backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs. We aim to create a space here today where everyone feels able to share and everyone feels included. So feel free to bring questions and thoughts in our conversation here, and always feel free to use the chat as the session continues. So I'm going to start the session by pulling up an agenda, the slides to show the agenda, and show you a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. I'll be sharing a little about us at the Women's Impact Alliance, um, and talking to you about the transformative power of coaching is one of our longtime coaches, Elise Falcone Rankin. I'll be sharing an overview of the Empowered Leader Program, next steps for applying to the program, tips for a strong application, and I encourage you to stick around for a Q&A. We'll be able to answer any questions that you have for us. On the next slides, we have a picture of the team, and I want to take a minute to introduce our small and mighty team. We have two people on the team on our call today, Mina and Michelle. If they're able to, I think they'll be waving so you can see their faces. This is the WIA core team that you see on the slide on your screen. There are a few more faces on the website of the incredible people who we get to partner with. It's just a big and diverse group that we get to interact with. We also have Elise, who I mentioned, and I'll have the pleasure of introducing her further in a minute, and myself, who'll be hanging out with you for the next 56 minutes or so. Next, I want to talk to you about the history and mission of the Women's Impact Alliance. So we began 10 years ago as a coaching fellowship, and we are now the Women's Impact Alliance. The organization was founded by Jane Finette in response to wanting to provide access to exclusive level of coaching for women in social impact. She saw the incredible transformation in leadership and impact that coaching can provide, and she also saw the need to provide women the access to it. At this point, we have over 200 coaches from all over the world. We've delivered over 15,000 hours of coaching, and nearly 2,000 women in over 90 countries have been able to engage in the program. Our community is global, and our impact community is really made up of nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, activists, scientists, artists, engineers, medical professionals, social workers, teachers, and more. We're focused on supporting women in the social impact space who are dedicated to making a difference in our world and our planet as well. We do all of this through whole person leadership development and coaching. This program has the power to be transformational. We know that leadership starts by leading within, and leading oneself first starts by bringing awareness to your inner voice and deciding what to do next. When we work on ourselves, mastering our desires and our fears towards the realization of our potentials, we really open up the possibility of transformation and being some part of something that is much bigger than ourselves. And that's
Mm.
exactly what the Empower Leader program offers. And it's why we believe wholeheartedly when women lead, the world gets better for everyone. In the next slide, I'm really excited to introduce to you a longtime WIA coach, Elise Falcon Rankin. She has a strong passion for seeing women leaders thrive. Elise coaches leaders and change makers all over the world. And throughout her 18 years of leadership coaching, her clients have counted on her bring warmth, keen insight, creative ideas, compassion, humor, and a very balanced left brain approach to their work together. Elisa's style of leadership coaching is coactive and collaborative. She believes that clients are inherently capable and full of all the wisdom they need to move forward. Elise guides conversations that open up new insights and possibilities, and she serves as a thought partner and trusted confidant and a change catalyst. Elise brings over 20 years of and management experience to her work, including senior leadership roles, leading, consulting, and coaching in organizations. Elise will be leading us through a coaching exercise using the Wheel of Leadership. Coaching is really a truly foundational part of this program. So I hope as you hear Elise talking today, you're able to see yourself as the incredible leader that you are, and also the powerful potential that lies within you, and how coaching through the Empowered Leader program can be a big asset for you. So I'm going to pause and let Elise begin leading us through the exercise. So we can
Thanks,
share the.
Emily. Hi, everyone. Welcome. And thanks for being here. Uh, I imagine that each of you, whether you're at the beginning of your day and kind of looking forward at many things you need to do, or you're at the end of the day and kind of looking back at everything that you've already done, there's a lot going on. And this is really a chance to take a step back, not just to learn about this program. I'm going to share a little bit more about coaching, and we're actually going to be, as Emily mentioned, in an exercise, the Wheel of Leadership, that's really commonly used by coaches. And it is going to give you a little bit of a taste of what it might be like. Coaching is really varied. It is customized, it's tailored for each catalyst, for each person, based on where they are in their journey. All of the WIA coaches are really well trained. And so this is one lens into that experience. I want to tell you just a little bit about who I am. Emily mentioned that I've been part of WIA since it began. It honestly, being part of WIA in so many different capacities, has been the greatest joy and privilege of my career. I've continued to be part of it because this community is a community that isn't just about coaching. It's not just about one-on-one. It is about support, about the connections that are forged, and really about being able to sit in a place and a space with other women to explore who we are as leaders and unpack and unfold that in a really expansive way. I've seen it over the decade plus of working with leaders. I've had the privilege of working with dozens of leaders across the globe through the program and hundreds through group coaching and different sessions. Leaders, just like yourself, come to the program for so many different reasons. It may be kind of a pivotal point in their career where they're looking at, like, well, what do I really want? I'm not sure really where I want to go in creating further impact. It could be that there's been a very big life event that's happened. Sometimes leaders come into the program and, they've changed cities, they've just changed careers, they're in a brand new role. And it's a place of exploring, well, how do I be in this right now? Um, I could tell you a lot of stories about the number of different areas that leaders, catalysts have explored. Every journey is unique. Um, I know for my own leadership and my life, kind of the key questions that I always sit with is, what am I called for right now? What's calling me right now? What am I called to do right now? What's mine to do? And also, who am I called to be? And so when I say who am I called to be, I'm thinking about my authentic leadership, my core values, my strengths. And all of the leaders that are part of the program will be exploring that to understand how do we actually lean into our values and our strengths and our purpose? Why are we here? And in moment to moment, how can we kind of be more and more of ourselves? And sometimes that can feel really easy, and sometimes it's really hard if we're in environments where we're not feeling like we've got space to be ourselves. This community, WIA, the community, is a safe space. Um, I can't even tell you like the feedback that we get about this being a unique conversation, a unique place to show up and share in a way that isn't really available a lot of times. With that, I want us to uh, work together in this exercise. It's called the Wheel of Leadership. And the first thing that we need to do, if you've got it, that's great. If you don't, grab some paper. Thank you, Emily, for putting up the slide. Grab a paper, pen. You might need a couple of pieces of paper. We're going to be spending probably about 15 minutes, and this exercise is just for you. This isn't something that's turned in. It's not something that you need to share with anyone. You absolutely can, of course, but that would be yours to do. So this is safe for you to do honestly and authentically, not part of your application or anything like that. So when we look at this wheel, you'll notice that it has different areas. It's a pie, and there are 8 sections that are labeled. So the first thing that I want you to do is draw the circle. And then the fastest way to make a pie, most of us probably know, make an X like this, and then make the horizontal and vertical lines. So just get that set up and then quickly put the labels in that you see on the slide. Oh, the slide just went. Okay, so can you see that it's communication and skills, creativity, innovation, conflict resolution, work-life balance, productivity, time management, self-confidence, influence and persuasion, and decision making. Okay. So, as you're getting your wheel set up, one of the things that I know is probably true for most of us is that we can move really quickly. And I was just noticing I had an awareness that I was speaking really fast, which can happen when I'm either excited or anticipating something. So, if we slow it down before we actually get into it, let's just take a moment, take a stretch and a deep breath or anything that feels good for you. Just, maybe you could wiggle your feet. If you're waking up and it's the beginning of your day, that's great. If you're finishing the end of your day, the middle of your day, in the middle of a meeting, give yourself a hug. Just take a deep breath and slow things down. Um, all right. So, what I want you to do is look at this wheel and the different areas. And for each part of the pie, place a number that feels true to you from 1 to 10. 1 being, this is an area of my leadership that just doesn't feel like it's online or that it's working well right now at all. And 10 would be, I'm in total flow. This feels like this is something that is just like flying. It feels like it's easy, and anywhere in between. And know that it might be that at this moment in time, something that used to be a 7 might now feel like a 2. Something that used to feel like a 1 might be now a 10. So just take the time, section by section, piece of the pie by piece of the pie, to place your number. 1 would be not so hot, and 10 would be, this is fantastic. And I'm just gonna just create some space. This will be about 2 minutes or so for you to just think and put some numbers. They may come quickly, or it may require a little bit of thought. So we're just going to have a couple of minutes of quiet, and then we'll circle back and take a look. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll respond quietly back in the chat too.
There is a question in chat, Elise. Are we answering based on life, workplace, or both combined?
Oh, great question. Here's what I would offer. Because this is for you, put the number that feels like it's going to give you the most insight into what is either working or not working. So it could be both combined. For some of you, it could be just workplace, and for others, it could be combined because the coaching is holistic. So if we were using this, you could look at it either way. So freedom to choose. Quick note, Jill is asking if it's recommended that participants keep the video on. Jill, that's great. We would welcome you and everyone else to have video on. As a community, it's always great to see each other's faces. Thanks for asking. Just take another minute. Can I give everybody another minute? Again, it may come quickly. Some things may require a little bit of thought, and you can come back to this later, of course. Okay, just take another 30 seconds or so to finish up. Wherever you are is just great. This is time just for you. Okay. So I'm wondering how many of you, and you can put something in the chat, like, yep, absolutely, or no, not really. How many of you have a wheel that looks like it would be a bumpy wheel? Like if it were a bicycle, you'd have a really bumpy ride. Just put something in the chat like, yes, no, not, it's bumpy. What's your wheel look like? No details needed. Just pop something in the chat. And it's really quiet. Hands up. Bumpy wheel. Mine is quite bumpy. When we get to 5 and 6, it gets bumpy. Bumpy. Yeah, right. Like if this was a bike, oh yeah, me we may blow a tire a little flat on one side. This is great. Yeah. And this is how we are. This is how we are as humans and as leaders. We have bumpy rides. It's bumpy. It is bumpy. Bumpy. There may be a brief moment in time when we feel like we've got kind of smooth tires and mostly not. And I can imagine we all appreciate that that is the way of it. Um, and I'm loving that the sense of humor that's showing up in chat is just like full on because this isn't a place where we need to be serious. It's all good. We've got bumpy rides. My wheel, I did a wheel. I didn't do the exercise this time because I was kind of focused on you all. I did a wheel a couple months ago. Man, that was like a super bumpy wheel. One of the things, we're going to do a little bit more in this exercise, but one of the things that we look at in coaching is not, I want to say this really specifically, is not, oh, we need to fix that part of the wheel or that area where you feel like it's the hardest. It may be that that's where you want to go. And it may be that there's something that's going well and you want to amplify it. So we don't need to look at it as deficiencies. We can look at the roundness and the wholeness and just accept that, oh, this is what we're looking at, and then choose from there. Where do we want to focus in terms of placing attention towards growth and development? If you look at your wheel, I'm going to ask you to choose one area where you think you would want to make a shift, where you look at it and you say, not only do I notice that it's creating the wheel being a little bit more bumpy. Somebody said, oh, Mandy, I love this. My wheel has a hole in it. Yeah, my wheel has had a hole in it as well at different times. Choose one area that you think you'd want to work on. Imagine that you had access to a coach like right now, and it was a completely safe space. Take a look. It doesn't have to be the only one, but just choose one to work on just in this exercise. Okay. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share that area in the chat. You can share more detail, but just share what's that area for you. Productivity and time management, influence and persuasion. This is great. Yeah. What else? Decision making, 6. Yeah, which one is 6? I'm like, what do we have? Yeah, self-confidence. Influence and persuasion. Yeah. Yep. Work-life balance, productivity, time management, conflict resolution. Notice already, as some of you are sharing, that there's some areas of commonality and some areas that are different. And, you know, I think I was sharing that sometimes there may be some area that has felt like in the past it was either really difficult or really easy, and now it feels different. So there aren't any bad choices or wrong choices here. It's just what's happening for you. So as you look at that area, what does it feel like to be at the number that you're sitting at in that productivity time management? What's it and not what's going on? So if we're using our heads, that's great. That's one way of thinking about it. But I'm actually inviting you to explore, what does it feel like? Might be in your body, might be an emotion, but what's that feel like to look at that area? It might feel invigorating, like exciting. I'd want to work on it. Maybe it feels kind of crummy, but just notice, what's it like to be at the number that you're sitting at? Just give yourself a minute to even, just a moment to even feel that, to be in that. How would you describe it? Maybe it's a sensation. There was a moment with one area of my bumpy ride, and it was my environment. Actually, kind of like relationships and an environment in this and conflict. And the feeling that I had was it made me really antsy. So the word that came up was antsy for me. Guilt-inducing. I feel avoidance. Yeah. Stacy, Caitlin, thank you for sharing that, particularly as this is, a group that's just kind of coming together here, right, for the first time. Avoidance, guilt-inducing, frustrating to know you can innovate and creatively solve problems, but not have the confidence to move boldly. Yeah. One of the things as we look at how something feels is there can be so much judgment that can come up about where we think we should be, right? What it should look like. And in coaching, we would offer that everything is possible in terms of growth and expansion. And yet, counterintuitively, somehow being really hard on ourselves can make it difficult to move forward. And so the normal human feeling that we have of frustration, repulsed, yeah, frustrated, Avoidance, guilt-inducing, these are difficult emotions. Coaching, being with a coach supports feeling the feelings about how it is to be in this place of difficulty or wanting more or wanting growth, and also figuring out the specifics to move forward and what that would look like for you. Limited. Yeah. These places of opportunity can feel difficult when we first see them. They can feel difficult. One of the things that I love is that this program not only has the one-on-one connection with the coach, there are ally pods. You're going to hear more about it, but they're small kind of subgroups of the community, a group that you would be with of your peers following through the entire program, and the support for being in this and realizing that we're kind of all in this together, always. All of us are in this is really helpful. When you think about this feeling, I want to ask you to just move your body in some way. Just shake your body a little bit. Shake off whatever that feeling is, the frustration, the limited, pushing it away, repulsed, avoidance. Just move your body a little bit. See if you can get a little bit of space, a little bit of space. Okay. Maybe take a deep breath. I just did. So imagine that you could shift this. Okay, let's just say, even if there are challenges to doing so, that with support, with exploration, and with, a way of paying attention to this, you could shift it. What would it look like for you? So I want you to just jot a note down. What would be different? Another way of asking this would be, how would you want it to be for you? And what would that feel like? So just imagine, bounce forward, that this, whatever number is, gets turned up and it's now like a 7, 8, not perfect. Just take a moment. What would that be like? Freeing, energizing, and fulfilling. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Jalara. Unlocking so much potential. Zainab. Yeah. Yeah. There's possibility in this place. Freeing. It's so interesting, even just in the chat, I'm feeling the energy shift a little bit when we've got language like this that comes up. One of the reasons why we invite you to share in the chat is because we're a community. We're in this conversation together. I would have more structure and certainty, which would allow me to make much better use of my potential. Yeah. Increased impact on community success, right? And this program is about impact. It's the Women's Impact Alliance. It is about impact. And it's also not just about impact for impact's sake. It's about impact through growth and development, hopefully in a way that definitely feels like it's connected to who each of you are at your best and unfolding that so that it's not like a hard struggle thing, but can be a little bit more freed up in terms of how you might grow. Caitlin, I would feel optimized and effective, and Shashika, elevated. Marissa, the fight becomes a little less hard, like you remembered to grease the pan before starting this time. That's great. Now that you've got a little bit of a taste of what this can feel like and the shift, I want to ask you to just jot a note down. One thing that you think you could do to move towards this shift as you imagine it. It could be a conversation with someone that you're connected with. It might be a personal practice. It could be saying yes to this program. It might be somatic or body-based movement. Just take a moment and jot down just one thing. It doesn't have to be huge. We're thinking like baby tiny, something that's really doable in the next, think like 3 days, 5 days, almost so small that you could trip over it. I'm going to give you just a minute to think on that. If you're comfortable sharing, not the whole thing, but even just a tidbit of what your next step would be, your next move, your tiny next step, if you would put it in the chat, I would love to invite you to do that. You never know what you might share that would be a gift to someone else. And that's part of what we see in the community. Um, Stacy, ask a mentor for coffee for advice. Mandy, ask more questions during conversations to learn other perspectives. Beautiful. There's great curiosity in this and connection in just those two ideas. That's beautiful. Sometimes we think that something's way outside of our possibility, and it's right there for us. Reading more about topics I want to talk about. Yeah. This wheel, we're going to complete this this exercise. This wheel and this exercise is something that you can come back to. Shashika is mentioning be present and intentional. I would invite you to be present and intentional with this. You could even carry this with you. Even just like, snap a photo, have it on your phone as a reminder of something that you might want to be thinking about. And I'm really grateful for the engagement and the conversation and want to just honor each of you for taking time out to explore this in this way. So thank you. It's a gift for all of us to be in the conversation, even for those of us that have been in this work for a while. With that, I am going to turn things back over to Emily, and we're going to continue sharing more about the program.
Thank you so much, Elise, for leading us through that exercise. And thank you all for taking the time to participate and also investing in how coaching can impact your goals and leadership potential. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and I can give you more information about the program. So we'll have a slide up right now that has a few bullets, but I'm going to talk through that. It's a fully integrated 9-month leadership development program. And our program does take commitment, and it's an investment in yourself personally and professionally. It's designed with leaders such as yourself who are possibly juggling many things in mind. It's completely virtual and highly interactive, designed to expand your leadership skills and also to accelerate your growth. And we do this in 4 different ways. So we have 12 hours of one-to-one leadership coaching with an expert coach over 8 months of the 9-month program. We have peer-to-peer ally pods, an interactive live leader labs, and of course, a global community of impact leaders. Leadership coaching is significant core to it's a significant core component, excuse me, of the Empowered Leader program. Coach matching looks like for us, we have an integrate process on the back end where our coach manager reads over your coaching goals and coach matching details and really identifies a coach who's best able to support you over the 12 hours of coaching. Coaching sessions look typically the same. So how you meet, what you do in between the sessions, and the commitment that you provide is to your coaching is really what helps you have a great experience. All accepted participants are paired with an experienced, vetted professional leadership coach, and together you work through your goals, focus areas, and challenges. Your coaching journey is really tailored to your specific needs and goals. And each coach specializes and are experts in whole person coaching. So this is different than mentoring or career coaching. On this slide that you're seeing next are our wonderful coaches here at the WIA. Just some of them, because we have over 200 top-tier professional executive coaches who represent over 30 countries. Our coaches have such a wealth of knowledge and leadership coaching expertise, and diverse personal and professional experience. Some examples of the type of clients they have worked with are FEMA, the American Heart Association, the U.S. Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Justice, Planned Parenthood, and Cartier. Each volunteer WIA coach is vetted, as I mentioned, and selected based on their coaching experience and their commitment to supporting women in this program and beyond. Our coaches care deeply about women leaders who are creating social and environmental change, and they rise to the positions of power and influence. I can tell you a little bit about Ally Pods, which is one of the pillars of the program. So aside from coaching, we also have Ally Pods because we know that the journey of rising and the work of social and environmental impact is not easy. Having a deep well of like-minded women around us who believe in our potential and continuously call us forward can make all the difference. And that's why we offer Ally Pods as a part of the crucial part, as a crucial part of the program, excuse me. As part of the Empowered Leader program, you'll get to join an ally pod consisting of about 9 other women who will be your allies throughout the program. You meet at least once a month throughout the program, and these pods are an opportunity to leverage the learning and foster meaningful relationships through this shared experience that will last beyond this program. Another pillar of the Empowered Leader program are the Leader Labs. So that's going to be on the next slide. And these are 6 different leader labs that we offer, and they're leadership development tools, models, and practices that are designed to support leaders in increasing confidence, empowering you to operate with full choice and awareness, increasing your capacity to thrive in complexity and ambiguity. And this, as we all know, often comes with being a leader. The Leader Labs are held live over Zoom and are a core part of the program. They're highly interactive and they're more than a workshop. There's space throughout the program to give you time to plan ahead and attend, but also to give you time to put into practice the concepts and learnings from each of these sessions. So as you can see on the screen, the titles of the 6 Leader Labs that we offer. Something else that we offer at the WIA is the Catalyst community. You can see a little bit more about that in the next slide. And we're really proud and humbled by all the leaders and coaches who make up the WIA community. We have great ways for our community to connect, like through our private Slack channel. We've had alumni meet up in person, create new organizations, find new career pathways, and collaborate on impactful projects. We have an extensive resource library of materials, books, articles, and more that are all available to you as part of the WIA community once you're in the Empowered Leader program. Another way to continue being connected is through virtual events that we host, as well as workshops and other leadership development opportunities for alumna. So I can go through more details about what the Empowered Leader program looks like. So as far as coaching hours, and that information is on the next slide. If we could move to that one, please. So what success looks like in the program and the requirements for the program are, at minimum, you attend 9 of the 12 hours of coaching that you have offered to you. At minimum, you attend 4 of the 6 leader labs, with the 6th one being required. And at minimum, we ask that you attend 8 of the Ally Pod meetings. On average, the time commitment to fully participate in this program each month is around 4 to 5 hours. And as I mentioned before, the program is designed to support and be conducive to your work schedule. And it's really important to consider the commitment of the program and honestly think about whether you're able to invest the time that it requires to fully show up to your coaching sessions, to leader labs, and to Ally Pod meetings. Thanks to the generosity of our coaches, donors, and fundraising efforts, we're able to offer a program at an accessible financial range. And there's more information about that on the next slide. In alignment with our mission, we are committed to providing expert-level leadership coaching, leadership development, and networks access as equitably as possible. We have a tiered pricing system that allows you to select the program price that works best for you, or at an organizational level. We also have limited partial scholarship opportunities available for those with limited organizational or personal development funds. And if you're able to meet this criteria and you wish to apply, you can apply for a partial scholarship, once you have completed the program application. Um, Once you're selected, if you select tier or scholarship request, this is no way going to affect your application or how it is reviewed. We have some resources that we can share with you to either request funding or sponsorship from your organization, or even template for how you can advocate for yourself to get more funding. We can share this with you through a follow-up email. So the application process and timeline for the Empowered Leader Program. We have the next slide. Thanks, Michelle. All the application is done online. It takes about an hour to two to complete. The deadline for the application is August 7th, 2026. So applications are open currently, and they're in total open for approximately 8 weeks. And this is followed by a month-long selection process that includes 3 phases in which the applications are reviewed by a minimum of 3 separate members of our selection committee. Our selection committee consists of more than 30 WIA coaches, alumna, and team members, board members, and partners as well. Your applications will be assessed for current and potential impact, readiness for coaching, and program and mission alignment. All applicants will be informed of the decision on September 7th, 2026, and selected applicants will have until they'll have 3 weeks to be able to confirm their place in the program, and we'll begin the program on October 5th, 2026. I have a few tips that can help you in applying, and we can move to the next slide, please, Michelle. Thank you. So be thoughtful in your application. Being part of this program is really an investment in yourself. We're looking for leaders who demonstrate a commitment to personal development and really a willingness to invest the time and energy required to be part of this program. Application responses that are well developed and reflect careful thought can demonstrate your investment and your growth as a leader. Your current impact and your potential impact are also things that we look at. So, be sure to share that information in your application. Our mission really is to empower young women leaders to build the new world. And we want to see your vision for what this new world looks like reflected in your application. We also look at coaching readiness, and this can be summed as your willingness to take action or responsibility for your own development. This is the degree to which a leader is open, motivated, and committed to the coaching process and its desired outcomes. And this is shown as eagerness to learn, eagerness to grow, and eagerness to change as well. How do you show up in challenging situations? What does growth look like for you? We're looking to see some receptiveness and self-awareness in your application as well, because coaching is an experience in self-reflection and vulnerability. So to get the most out of coaching experience, you'll have to be willing to be flexible, courageous, and vulnerable. We're looking for applicants who are able to demonstrate self-awareness, courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to leverage feedback for personal growth. We're looking for passion and authenticity. Be yourself in your application. Part of the application requirements are submitting a video. So that's really an opportunity for us to get to know you more and learn about you as a woman leader in this world. We want to see your energy, your excitement, and your curiosity around the impact you believe you're making and the leader that you see yourself as. So I'm going to pause really quickly and take a moment for questions and answers. Feel free, as we've been using through the session, to use the chat or come off of mute to ask us any questions. So it looks like we do have some questions.
I think Caitlin's asking, are sessions always during the workday or in the evenings or a mix?
Yes, so coaching sessions will be based on you and your coach, the arrangement that you make, and that could be evenings or weekends or whatever you determine and align on. For Leader Labs, we have those in the morning, so we have those at 8 a.m. Pacific or at 9 a.m. Pacific. So you're able to choose one of those, and it's twice a month. So one session is required per month. For Ally Pods, you do have the ability to set your preference and can be grouped with other women who are either in an evening pod, if that's what you would prefer, or a weekend one as well. So there's some flexibility in timing, but Leader Labs are set. You're welcome, Caitlin. we have any questions, again, feel free to use the chat or come off of mute. You have me and Elise and Michelle here. We're able to answer any questions that you have about ELP or the application um, in general. So, yeah.
Or even questions about what's your experience in what your experience will be in the program.
Yeah.
We're open to anything.
Mandy Sentieri asks, you mentioned that your mission is focused on young women leaders. What is your definition of young? Um, that is a great question. There isn't a cutoff age necessarily for the program, if that is what you're asking. We're really looking for women who are making impact in their communities and in the world and they're working in. Michelle, Elise, I don't know if
I want to
if you're
add
gonna.
something on that. So, having worked with a lot of catalysts, my youngest catalyst was 25, and she was launching a social enterprise in India. And I think the oldest catalyst that I worked with was 43, turning 44. And so advanced in her career and also running social enterprise. And so there are women leaders at different stages of their career and also different ages. And one of the things that we found is that there is incredible learning to have that diversity of experiences and kind of stages to advance the conversation, because we might think that somebody that has more years of experience, would have more to say. And yet what we find is that the conversation is really rich because there's wisdom coming from all different places. So it creates a lot of rich dialogue and conversation.
Yeah. We look less at age and more about the impact you are making and the impact you want to make, and your openness to being self-reflective and doing some work through coaching and leadership
Absolutely.
development to really grow yourself and in order to grow your impact. So if you're feeling like you're on the edge of being either too young or too old, whatever that might be, we encourage you to apply, because we're really looking at the whole person and not at just one thing. Yeah. And we can all be young at heart. I say as someone who's getting older.
Thanks to us.
Yes. Thanks for the question.
What else? So here's a really great place. One of the things that, we talk about a lot, and some of you were sharing, was like this openness for conversation as a next step. Maybe there's something that the exercise that we did evoked in terms of questions. Oh, and Marissa's got something. What's the rate of application to acceptance?
I want to say in the past we've had a 60% average for like 60 to 70% acceptance rate. And so it is a pretty, I'd say the selection process is rigorous. Our judges do take a lot of time looking through application and looking at current and future impact. And so it's it's tough spot to get into, but strong applications, tend to make it.
Yeah, and we're very personal when we look at things. So you might get a reply, even if you don't get in the program, you might get a reply that says, we encourage you to apply next year. Like there's something in here that we really love, and you just need a little bit more experience or something, in your life before you apply next. So we are not a automated reply kind of organization. We want to make it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we care about you.
It's not about keeping people out. It's more like, how can we expand the community? So as the applications are considered, it's very much like, how much as an organization impact can we make? So if there's availability and there's fit for the applicants, we're going to want to be including people and bringing people in. It's not about like this rigorous, oh, we're trying to cut people off at all. It's very much the opposite. And yet there are specific, as Emily and Michelle shared, specific criteria for being in the program, and the applications are very carefully considered. Every application probably has a half an hour or more, and then a group conversation about it. So it's, very intentional in terms of how the team thinks through things.
Thanks for the question, Michelle, and thanks to Lisa and Michelle for supporting.
I'm curious for each of you, is there a part of a part of the program or a possibility or an opportunity that's been shared, whether it's the connection or at the beginning of the call, I think a question was asked, like, what brought you here? Now that you've heard more about the program, what is it that's kind of that's drawing you? Is there a particular area that you're most curious about? You can put that in the chat or come off of mute. Be great to just hear. Chat's great too if everybody's feeling a little quiet.
There's some curiosity you have that made you show up today. We want to hear what that curiosity is. Yeah. Curiosity is a really big topic in what we talk about in coaching as well. And there is something about being curious about opportunities, being curious about possibilities in our own life that can open up new ways of thinking. And so even by asking a question in a group, I'm sure you're not asking a question that only you are thinking of. You're probably asking a question that there are many other people thinking of too.
Virginia, you're sharing the program was recommended by someone who did it 5+ years ago. Mandy, yeah, I recently completed a program called Women Worth Following, which is similar. I'm looking to grow on what I learned and to have a coach. Yeah. Oh, that's great. This is a really personal, it's a very personal, individualized program within this support of community and small groups.
There's a comment from Stacy Orr Gardner who says she learned that a very strong, influential woman and she knows enjoyed the program and recommended it, and that sold it to her. So happy to have you here, Stacy.
That's great. Connection. Chris is saying connection. Yeah. Best and most transformative leadership experience have been in cohort style leadership programs. Yeah. And that's what we've found over the decade plus that we've been sharing this program and running it.
Yeah, and Caitlin says, I'm growing quickly in my career and find myself now leading many younger women. I find myself increasingly put in the position where I'm talking to them about the nuances of being a woman at work and how they can become more sturdy in situations where women are challenged. We thank you for sharing that. We often find that the perfect time for coaching is when we're in some sort of a transition that can feel kind of chaotic and kind of unknown and kind of overwhelming. That's actually the perfect time to work with a coach and to connect with other women leaders and to hear from them and what they're experiencing. That's part of why we've developed this program, is because it can offer such great support and stability during those times of transitions, and growth and growing as a leader and having greater responsibility. So yeah, it's a good time. It's often the time when people say, I'm too overwhelmed to take on something new like coaching or leadership development program. And actually it's the perfect time because you'll get the support that you really need. And maybe you haven't gotten it in the past in other transitions.
Michelle, oh my gosh, I'm really glad you mentioned that. I want to underscore what Michelle was just sharing about being in the program. I think Emily shared that 4 to 5 hours a month would be kind of the average commitment for someone that's, engaged in the program fully. And it's very much in terms of what we take from the leadership development, a practice-based, practical application focused process and experience. It's kind of oh, I have an insight. I'm learning about something about myself as a leader. And now here's my intention about how I want to be in that, what I want to do with that, the being and the doing together, and then practicing that. So it's not like hours of extra homework. It's more like where the rubber hits the road in an everyday kind of way. I want to point to something that Marissa's highlighting. She said, also personally, I'm ready for the matriarchy. So, and Caitlin says this. We often have difficulty finding spaces that are focused just for us to be in conversation as women. And that is exactly what this is. It is a space where we can be reflecting on and sharing and supporting what it looks like to be a woman social impact leader. And I can't underscore that enough. This is a special place. This is a really special place. And there's opportunity for that to share and to grow in it, because it can be hard. It can be really hard to be women leaders and women leaders in social impact, even more so.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elise. You have a comment from Shishisha, who shares that she's in the flatbread industry in South Africa and her impact is on food security. She feels she wants to harness her strength and needs a coach to help her stay focused and expand her influence in the industry. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great example of the type of work we want to support in the world. And working in food insecurity can often feel it's like one of those overwhelming things too. And part of our program is learning what you need to do for yourself to take care of your own boundaries, to resource yourself so that you can continue that important work. So often we find that women get burned out by doing this work and also balancing other responsibilities in their life. And so learning what the best balance is for you and what the best choices that you can make for yourself can really have a great impact on the important issues that you're working with in the social impact space. Yeah.
We had one other comment from Zainab who says, I think for me, I love belonging in exceptional communities that empower, grow, and have an impact together. So I've been actively keeping an eye on such programs for the last year and bookmarking them whenever I see them. Whenever I see someone interesting joining and share good feedback. The right communities will help you unlock wonders by receiving and giving. I think that is powerful and very true.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all so much for sharing. We're coming to the top of the hour, and so I do want to wrap up by saying it's been amazing to see so many of you here and the intentionality, to pursuing growth in your leadership that you have just by showing up to this session. We know that the world gets better for everyone when women lead, and the world needs your voice, your leadership, and your vision for social impact now more than ever. We hope that you reply because you truly are worth the investment. We're going to put a link in the chat to the application so you can bookmark it and try to get your application in before August 7th. Feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to chat one-on-one or have any questions throughout the application process. And I want to pause and ask Elise if there's anything she wanted to add before we
Thanks
close.
for asking. Simply to acknowledge and appreciate that although I don't know the work that each of you are doing, I imagine that each of you is already contributing in significant ways. And it's an absolute joy as a coach, and I think Michelle would say the same thing, to be able to support you. All of the coaches are here for you, the community is here for you. And so yeah, I just want to encourage you to apply and just to thank you for everything that you're already doing. So warm welcome and invitation to continue being part of the conversation by applying.
So if you are ready to apply, please put yes in the chat. We're all excited to cheer you on as you do that. So yes, we have
Marissa. Stacy, Jill,
Welcome.
Mika,
Yeah, yeah.
Sabrina.
Can't wait to get to know you.
Yes. Thank you all for joining. Take care. And we hope to see you in the program soon. Yeah. Thank
Take
you,
good
everyone.
care.
Thanks.